Hey guys, I'm going to do 2 homework problems for you to help you out with this one. I know that some people were having a little bit of trouble with it on their own, so hopefully this helps. We're going to do number 1, and I think we'll do number 6. No, we won't do 6 because we did 6 in class. Yeah, we'll do 6. All right, 1 and 6. So number 1. I to the 45th, we have to simplify it, right? So remember we have this I cycle, that if I is to the first power, it's just I. But if we multiply it by I, we'll end up turning it into -1. And if we multiply that by I, we'll get -I. And if we multiply that by I, we'll end up getting 1. But if we multiply 1 by I, we go back to I, and then the cycle just keeps continuing. So if you want to know why that is, go look back at the notes from when we did in class on Monday. But what we decided in class you can do is, if it's I to the first, it's I to the second is -1, to the third, to the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and you could just keep counting around the I cycle and end up simplifying this to something, right? That's going to take a long time if you've got a large number. With I to the 45th, you could probably get it done in a minute and a half. You'd be counted all the way to 45, but there's a lot of room for error there too. So what we decided we're going to do instead is we're going to try to pull out as many I to the fourths as we can, and then we'll see whatever's left over. And the reason we're pulling out I to the fourth is because I to the fourth is 1. That's the best. 1s are great to multiply by because it doesn't change anything. So I to the fourth. So the question is, how many times does 4 go into 45? And the answer is 11 and some change, right? So if I could multiply 4 by 11 and get a number close to 45, I would get 44, right? So I goes into 45 44 times here, and I still have that one more I left over. So here's what I've just done. I've got I to the 44th, because I to the 4th to the 11th is 4 times 11, that's 44. So here's 44 I's here. And here's my one other I. I've created an expression that's equivalent to I to the 45th. And the reason I've written it this way is because I to the 4th is a 1. So this is really just 1 to the 11th times I. And 1 to the 11th power is just 1. And 1 times I is just I. So I to the 45th is really just I. So the whole process there is just pulling out as many I to the fourths as you can. Right? And a long way of doing it would just be saying I to the 4th times I to the 4th times I to the 4th, and you could keep doing that times I to the 4th, and you would do that 11 times I to get I to the 45th. So instead of writing all this out like this, we write it like this: I to the 4th to the 11th, because there are 11 I to the 4ths here. That's why we're able to do this. All right, so that's an example of simplifying a power of I. So 2 and 3 are just like that, very similar. Now let's move on to number 6. 6 says 10 plus yi squared. So what we have here is an expression that's being squared. So we've got a 10 plus yi times 10 plus yi. That's what it means when you square something. So we'll FOIL. 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times yi is 10 yi. Yi times 10 is another 10 yi. And yi times yi is yi squared, or y squared times I squared. Because remember, you have to square both those things. Now I'm going to simplify this as much as possible. I've got some like terms here. Since these are both yi, they are like terms. So I've got 100, I've got 20 yi, and over here I've got a y squared, and I squared is the same as, if we look at our I cycle, I to the first, I to the second, is the same as just a -1. So instead of writing I squared, I'll just write -1. And y squared times -1 is just going to be -y squared. Then I have this 100, and I've got this imaginary term hanging off the end. So when I simplify this as much as I possibly can, I end up with negative y squared plus 100 plus 20yi. All right, so hopefully you guys are slowly starting to get the hang of dealing with imaginary numbers here. I don't expect you to be experts yet. We're going to practice this a lot more tomorrow. Okay, hopefully this helps, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.